What's up, everybody? Garrett back here, and I just got done checking out Five Nights at Freddy's, brand new movie that just hit. Now, this was something that a lot of people were hyped for because this is based off a video game that's really, really popular, and a game that I've actually never played. I know nothing about this game, so going into this movie, I was really blind on any kind of backstory about these characters, but I was kind of intrigued and excited because not only does it have a huge fan base, but it's also a very throwback story where it takes place in these like family pizzeria centers that I used to go to growing up. We had one here, Chuck E. Cheese. I'm sure you've heard of that one, but that was one I used to go a lot as a kid. Had all the animatronics, had a band. Very, very cool. You eat pizza there, you play video games. It just was a real fun place as a kid. I know they had another one called Showtime, which maybe you had around you, but man, I just really like this aesthetic, this old school like pizza fun center place with these animatronics there. This was an abandoned one, so this guy kind of becomes a security guard for this building, and that's when kind of hell starts to break loose. But again, I'm not familiar with any of these characters or what the story is when it comes to the game, so I was just going into it just as someone that wanted to watch a fun movie. Now, I will say the characters of the animatronics looked really, really good. Practical effects looked really good, so bravo on that. You had Matthew Lillard in here as well, so very familiar face. There was some points in time where I feel like he was kind of breaking out a little bit of the Stumacher in him, which is pretty cool to see. But again, outside the animatronics, the practical effects, Matthew Lillard, the overall story to this, I just didn't think was good. I thought it was very weak. It was kind of felt unnecessary to me. Like the whole backstory and this side plot they had going on with this guy and his sister and stuff, like, I just didn't really dig it. I was really bored with it. I was kind of more in the line of, let's get back to the pizzeria. Let's go back to these animatronics. And I just felt like for what I thought I was getting, it just really kind of dialed it back. I feel like I didn't see those characters as much as I wanted to. It was focused more on this backstory with the main characters that, again, just really didn't work for me. Now, coming from somebody who's a really big horror fan, somebody who just wanted to go in and have a fun little slasher movie with this 80s aesthetic, I didn't really get it. I really didn't get what I wanted from this. I'm assuming this is going to be a huge franchise. But again, for someone who does not know anything about this whole series of the games, I don't think this was a really great movie. I'm not sure exactly why some of the choices were made. Maybe they're really just throwing nods to the video game, and therefore I didn't understand really what was going on or why things were going on or why certain things were important. But I just think as a whole wraparound story, I just didn't think it was that good. And honestly, if you're not a big, huge fan of this franchise, I don't see many people really digging this one unless you're a diehard Five Nights at Freddy's fan who really just understood a lot of the nods that it gave. And as far as being scary, it wasn't. The things were pretty creepy, but I mean, there was a couple jump scares here and there. There was like one pretty decent death scene, but other than that, I just feel like it was very lackluster. So I don't want to make this long because, again, I'm not really the expert when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's. But if you like this kind of stuff and you want more, I recommend a couple other movies that are very similar in tone. Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage, very similar to this Five Nights at Freddy's. And the other one is a movie called Banana Splits, which, again, it revolves around like these childhood animatronic type mascots that kind of come to life. So definitely check these two out if you're a fan of this kind of movie. So I just wanted to give you a short and sweet review and reaction to this movie. Let me know, are you a fan of this franchise? Did you check this movie out? What do you think of this movie? I would love to know from both sides because, again, there was aspects I liked about it. I just felt very underwhelmed. I was actually more excited to see a little bit more about this whole universe here in a brand new horror flick, Five Nights at Freddy's. And if you're into horror and 80s and 90s nostalgia, make sure to hit subscribe because that's the kind of stuff you're going to get over here. And this is Garrett at Born2beRad. And like always, stay rad.